Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sharifa. My music name is New Lily. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Please check out my How I Became a Targeted Individual summary and or full story. In the full story, I give the whole story. So not only do I tell you how I became targeted in 2020, the year that I graduated from college, but then I also talk about my spiritual battle that I've been going through since my early 20s because it's literally been years and years of crazy. And I found myself in these crazy situations that I don't know how I got in. It's just been like this really crazy, gnarly spiritual battle. So please check out my story. And I will put the links to my story and summary in the comment section as well as in the description box. But anyway, guys, this video is a lighthearted one. Like I told you, my newer videos are not really going to be targeted individual content. You know, I've already posted my story. I feel closure in that. I've said everything that I wanted to say as far as my story goes, you know, and talking about what my experience has been in this program thus far. So, like I said, my newer videos are going to be more so just about main interests and hobbies and, you know, things I'm pursuing, maybe letting you guys have updates on what's going on in my life. That's what my newer content will be about. And I just wanted to show y'all some pictures that I found. If you listen to my full story, you know, you'll hear me tell you guys about my early 20s when I was in college for the first time, you know, and I lived with my sister and this roommate. You know, that's a big part of my story. Please listen to my full story. But around that time, you know, a lot of the things that I went through in my early 20s started back then. So that was around the time where I was dating the ex that kind of led me on. And that was my fault, that situation. You got to listen to my full story to know what I'm talking about. But that was also around the time that I had started talking to this guy that I met via Instagram that created like this, I guess you could say virtual or cyber stalking, cyberbullying situation for me that lasted for years. These pictures I'm about to show you is from around that time. And you're gonna also get to see my niece. She's adorable. But life was normal for me back then. You know, even though that was like around the time when my trials and tribulations started, life was still normal for me back then. So I just wanted to share a piece of myself with you guys and show you guys those pictures from back then. You know, around this time, like I said, I was in community college. I was a substitute teacher. I was also working at Walmart. I found those pictures also. If you listen to my story, you'll hear me talk about an incident that happened at the Walmart where I was kind of dealing with a monitoring spirit situation. That was my first encounter with that. Got to listen to my full story, but these pictures are all from that time in my story where I was talking about my time in Tallahassee in my early 20s. All right, so this is my niece. Of course, she's older now. Like I said, this was from years ago, almost 10 years ago. Not quite. Well, actually, this is from about 10 years ago, 2014. Yeah. So that she's older now, but this is her back then. And me, so adorable. Me just chilling. My niece and I were having movie night. You know, just very normal stuff. This was my style back then. You know, I had more of like a chick tomboy type style. And of course, it's changed and morphed throughout the years. Especially when I really started teaching, my style totally changed up. This was just like some natural remedy that I had found in my pictures. Guys, I've been into holistic health for years. Oh, I wanted to show this too. Look at this. This was something I had saved in my Dropbox. Just to tell you, this was my mindset back then. You know, because if you listen to my story, you'll hear me say that I shared some extremely offensive Hebrew Israelite content in my car when I got down to South Florida. And that was literally reactive abuse. That was me reacting to the abuse and the gang stalking that was happening to me. But look at the type of Hebrew like content I was into and focused on back then. It says showing love and teaching salvation to another human being, no matter what the color the person is. I have come across many white Hebrew Israelites that are aware of the truth in America and in Europe, and I find that to be a beautiful thing. Salvation is for everyone. Yah is no respecter of persons, and he does not care what color the person is, as long as they are aware of the truth and what he requires. Also, we do not tolerate evil or lies that is being taught from other religions or cults. The Jews that you see today, okay, that part, ooh, that part. Ugh. And that's the thing, guys. I can be real and honest with you guys. That's something that swirls around in the community, and this is why they call us Hebrew Israelites sometimes anti-Semitic, because you know, obviously, if we believe we're the true Jews, then we think that the Jews in America are not the true Jews. Um, but not everyone shares offensive content pertaining to that understanding. Not all Hebrews are out there like literally like vilifying and persecuting the Jews in America, the people that are considered Jewish in America. That's not the case. Um, but I did share that I did take that screenshot because, as you can see, majority of the post is talking about the fact that everyone has salvation, and I liked that post. At the time too, I remember we were hanging out with these girls. Later we did kind of realize that their spirituality didn't align with ours totally. Like we don't even mind. That's to tell you we're open minded. Still around that time in Tallahassee, around that time was the time when, if you listen to my story, shortly after moving out from the roommate, we made friends with these two girls, and they were just like us as far as not spirituality goes, but as far as like natural health and holistic health goes. They were just like us, but they were totally the opposite of us when it came to spirituality. And we were still open minded. We still befriended them. We still talked to them. We still went to their house and had this thing called Meeting of the Minds. I talked about this in my full story, where basically we would all come together, people of different religions, and talk about what our belief system was and why we felt that way. So we were very open minded Hebrews back then. And the only reason we ended up not friends with those girls anymore was because we literally realized that their spirituality was just way too different to ours. It was to the point where they literally told us they were Luciferians after a certain point, and they started calling themselves Brujas. And so this is why we stopped hanging out with them, because it was like a slow build with them slowly but surely trying to introduce to us what their understanding of truth was. And so at first we were open, we thought they were just of a different religion. That's not a big deal. We're not closed-minded people. But then when we started realizing the stuff that they were into, it was just like we couldn't stay friends with them. So if you listen to my story, you'll even hear of a scary experience that I had with those girls. I'm not going to go into the details of that right now. But anyways, this was around that time when I was into holistic health, and also around that time when I was open-minded, and sharing this type of stuff here. The thing about the Jews, please excuse that I don't want to offend you. That was just at the bottom part of that post. But the main part of that post I wanted you to focus on was the fact that the belief system is that everyone has salvation. So understand that in this community, many Jews, many Hebrews do believe that everyone has salvation. It's just that part of it where they want to debate that the African Americans are the true Jews. That's where things get a little muddy, because some Hebrews can share that content offensively, and this is why I don't want to say we, some Hebrews can be considered anti-Semitic. Anyways, moving on. This is just pictures of me that I found. So this is me in my early 20s, guys. A young little thing. Of course, I'm 31 now. I'm older. See, this is those people. These are those people. You see what the name of the group chat was? Yoga Soul Meditation. The guy's name was Supreme. These were the people we were hanging with. Those people that they basically had the same view of us as far as health goes. Really into holistic health and healing the body through natural medicine, like earth and herbs from the earth. But it was just their spirituality was too different to ours, so we couldn't stay friends with them. But I basically found some of these chats that I had saved because he was given good information about some herbs. And so he said, "Peace, Olani. Just wanted to let you know I would like to talk a little bit about superfoods like ormus, pollen, reishi, and alchemy next meeting." And she said, "No doubt. Bring whatever you need." And then you saw me look up nano gold. That's what ormus is. It's like nano silver, but better. It's nano gold. So it has the same healing properties as nano silver, where it will come through the body and pull out toxins. Really cool stuff. So that's the vibe we were on back then. That's me again back then. This was a little more into the future though. This was 2015. So those other photos I just showed you were from 2014. These are from 2015. So that's my niece and I. You can see very normal relationship, nothing strange. My niece and I. And the reason I feel the need to say that, guys, is because so much has happened with me being put into this program. It's like you feel like you have to explain every part of your life, and you kind of get painted in this light like you're crazy or, some sort of obscene thing. And so it's just like you feel the need to explain and provide evidence about the life you had before being thrown into this crazy program. This was just a screenshot I took. I was into holistic health and natural hair back then, as you can see in the pictures. So I liked what she had going on with her hair. 10 Commandments, I had that saved in my Dropbox as well. Always been very spiritual. Look at that. I want y'all to focus on that one that says, "Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor." That's the karma I think I'm receiving right now for bearing false witness continuously, and not on purpose either. I've never done it maliciously, but still it seems like I'm getting punished for it regardless. Another picture. And by the way, guys, I had cut my hair back then. So this picture was basically my hair growing back after having cut it. I look kind of crazy in this picture, but still, my hair was growing back. That's what was going on here. And again, too, this was around the time when I started. You can see it says 2015. Really, I don't want to say going off the rails, but I was really depressed because of what was happening with my ex, getting led on and stuff. And also, too, this was around the time when, like I said, the cyber stalking and cyberbullying had started happening. I was no longer talking to that guy that I had met via Instagram. And I was also being set up by honeypots and stuff. So I wasn't really in my best form. Remember, I told y'all, 2000, like the end of 2014 to 2016, I was literally a blackout drunk. Those were like the darkest years of my life. Aside from now, what's happening in this program, but at least I'm sober and clear minded, you know? This was like one of those people, you know, this was the boyfriend, or well, you could say fiance almost, of the girl basically that we had befriended, that ended up, you know, eventually revealing to us that she was a Luciferian and all this stuff that they were into. But this was the type of post he would post. Everyone should go on a parasite and herbal detox cleanse at least 4 times a year. Each person. Public service announcement. If you're wondering, benefits equals losing weight, drastically improves energy, strengthen immune system, cleanses blood, decalcifies pineal gland, reverses cystic fibroids and prostate cancer, improves libido, reverse any cancer you may have, corrects hormonal imbalances. Sorry, guys, my nose is a little stuffy and I don't feel like getting up to blow it. Stimulates quick hair growth, excellent foundation to practice spirituality, etc., just to name a few. And the reason we were so into these friends too were because, like I said, we hadn't ever really we've made so many different friends from different walks of life, you know, all different cool eccentric people, but we had never met friends that were really into holistic health the way we were, especially at that time. Because, like I said, this was shortly after moving out from my roommate. And we had kind of felt like something spiritual was going on. You know, if you listen to my story, you'll hear the details about that. We felt like she might have done something, you know, because we had found her dirty underwear on my sister's toilet when we had got back into town. You know, we're from the islands, and so we left for the Christmas vacation. And when we got back into town, we found her dirty underwear on my sister's toilet. And then shortly after that, my sister started getting really sick. You know, she got really skinny. We were going to the doctor. We couldn't figure out what was going on with her. And so I remember that being very scary for us. And so this is when, as soon as we moved out from her, we really got into holistic health. Like, if I show you right now, if I sign into my Dropbox right now, you can see how obsessively I was into holistic health back then. I kept sending my sister like messages about different remedies and stuff, and we were both into it too. It wasn't just me, but we were really into holistic health and also spirituality, not just any old spirituality either, Hebrew Israelite spirituality, because that was our understanding of truth, you know? But still very open-minded. Like I said, we were hanging with these people and they were Egyptologists. And then also we had different people in that group too hanging with us. Some were Christians, some were Jews, not Jews, I'm sorry, Jews too. We actually had a real Jew, like an Ashkenazi Jew, sitting with us too in one of the meeting of the minds. She was an older lady. So that's how open-minded we were. And then we also had just different spiritualities, Buddhists, all kinds of stuff up in those meetings. It was cool. It was a cool time, you know? And they were into holistic health like us. So that's what the relativity was, you know, that we had that common interest. My niece picking up in her nose. This is a cute picture. It was hilarious. My niece again and myself. My older sister and I, again, this was when my hair was growing back. My hair was growing back in this picture also. See, list? You see another list, right? And this is what I found in my Dropbox, all the way from back in 2015. It says, get Ninja Blender for my household and my parents' household. Get Gerson, 2-quart silicone coffee enema kit with ground coffee and salve for Mommy, Kita, and myself. Now, mind you, see Mommy, Kita? Mommy is my mom, obviously. Kita is my older sister. She's the one who was sick back then. Get ionized water machine for my household and my parents' household, Aqualive. Get bottle of Coconut Secret raw coconut vinegar for my household and my parents' household. Get organic extra virgin cold pressed coconut oil for my household and my parents' household. preferably the Trestle Mega Nutrition 54-ounce one. Get wheatgrass or wheatgrass powder for my household and my parents' household. So guys, I've been writing lists for years. You know, if you checked out my Asperger's Part 2 video, you'll have seen some of the old lists that I showed you. Here's another old list, all the way back from 2015. I found it in my Dropbox. And also you can see I was very normal. I cared about my family, you know. I bought that same Ninja blender you see in this book. I did buy it. It's in the kitchen right now. I bought it for my mom. So I've never been selfish. I've never been rude to my parents. You know, I've never been rebellious. These are all, you know, different things that started happening after my targeting 2020. Just another thing that was in my playlist, 25-day water fast. I love this girl, Ravana. I haven't watched her videos in a while, like years actually. But back then I used to watch her a lot because she's like vegan. And into some natural stuff. Again, my hair was growing back in this time, guys. This was 2015. Hair was growing back. I took a screenshot of this picture because it reminded me of what I had going on. I knew my hair would grow back quickly. Just some natural hair stuff, natural health stuff. You know, you can see my some pictures of me back then, 2015. Just a spiritual vibe. You know, this is talking about the herbs. Look at this. My son, in thy sickness be not negligent, but pray unto the Most High, and he will make thee whole. Leave off from sin and order thine hands aright, and cleanse thy heart from all wickedness. We are to be negligent in our sickness. I think he meant to say we are not to be. We are not to be negligent in our sickness. We are to realize we are being attacked in the body by spirits. Pray, and the Most High will make us whole. But wait, we must leave off from sin, which is breaking the law, and take our hands out of wickedness, and cleanse our minds from wickedness. These things bring sickness. What is medicine for us? Jubilees. And by the way, guys, Jubilees is one of those books that was taken out of the Bible. So if you don't subscribe to that, I'm not trying to push this on you, but I am one of those Hebrews that do believe that some of the books shouldn't have been taken out the Bible, like the Apocrypha, for instance, and Jubilees. And listen to what's in Jubilees. This is like real informational stuff that the world could benefit from. Jubilees 10:12-16. And we explained to Noah all the medicines of their diseases, together with their seductions, how he might heal them with herbs of the earth. And Noah wrote down all the things in a book as we instructed him concerning every kind of medicine. The medicine the Creator provided is found in herbs. You don't need the science experiment. Okay, I'm not going to say that part because that sounds controversial, and I'm not anti the pharmaceutical companies. I'm not anti the government. You know, like, I'm not into controversy. This wasn't even my post. This was literally a Hebrew guy that I followed on Instagram back then. You can see this is from 2015. But I've always been into pro-natural health and holistic health rather than using medication. And that's just my personal belief. You know, if you're somebody that believes in using medication, I am totally fine with that. But this is just my personal belief, and it's literally in the Bible. Anyways, moving on. This was when you could see my hair was tied up, you know, into the Hebrew Israelite stuff. I was going to the church back then. This was in 2015. You know, another time at the church, you know, you could see the dress I was wearing, 2015. Oh, okay, so now we're just getting into personal stuff. I'm not trying to show y'all my personal business now. Oh, I found a few other pictures too, from back then. This was when I really had just cut my hair. And I was really going through it too, by the way. This was, let me see what year this was, by the way. This was not that far back either. I believe this was when did I cut my hair like this? I think this was in 2016, if I'm not mistaken. You know, because I've cut my hair several times and started my natural hair journey over several times. I literally just cut my hair like 5 months ago. I cut like 6 to 7 inches of my hair off. So I keep cutting my hair and starting over. Because what happens is I get bored and then I start to do stupid things to my hair, like flat iron it. That's the main thing that I end up doing, and then I end up damaging it and having to start over. Anyway, that was, you can see I was doing the eyebrow thing. So remember, if you listen to my full story and you hear, you know, part of my stimuli with that cyberstalking, cyberbullying situation that happened in my early 20s, really in my 20s in general. Remember I told you in my pictures I used to do the eyebrow thing a lot? This is what I was talking about, you know, because this is from that time, you know, that time frame, 2014. This pic is literally from 2014 when I was talking to that guy. And this was the crap I used to do with my eyebrows. So when I started getting bullied, they made this stimuli for me, this eyebrow thing. You can't even really see it good in this picture. I used to do it way more prominently, but still you can kind of see that the eyebrow is lifted. Another pic for me back then. Look at the eyebrow. You can see it really good in this picture. You can see what I was on. You know, you see I was doing with my eyebrow. Picture of my grandma and I. This was me when I was a baby. You can see I look like kind of like my niece. You know, my niece actually resembles me. She really does. And that's my grandma. The one from Trinidad. You know, some old pics of me. You can see I had some coconut oil, organic extra virgin olive oil. You know, and this was again back in 2014 when I was into the holistic health. Cold pressed, of course. If y'all don't know about this, coconut vinegar, please try it out. It's like really good. It's full of the same nutrients as apple cider vinegar, but even more. It has more benefits than apple cider vinegar. The organic apple cider vinegar that has the mother in it, you know, which is like the natural sediments at the bottom. This is like that, but with coconut instead, and it's way better. You know, apple cider vinegar is already a superfood. Anyways, just some pictures of me. Another one, me and my niece and I. You can see how chubby she was. This is so adorable. More pictures. I don't know what I was doing. You can see I was doing the eyebrow thing again. So I used to do that a lot, guys. So just know that that became stimuli when I was being cyber stalked and cyber bullied. Braids. You can see I used to love to throw the braids, and I've been doing it for years. I actually used to do it a lot smaller, as you can see. If you look at my, well, I only have one video up now. You know, those of you that have been subscribed, I'm sure you saw my older videos. The braids were pretty big, but I used to do them smaller. It's just I don't have the patience to sit there and do the braids that small. Me back then, 2014, you can see my niece in the back. And actually, this was around the time when I had just started teaching. So I was a substitute teacher back then. Actually, I was an OPS substitute teacher. Another picture of me. I thought I was all that. I actually had meat on my body back then. My older sister and I, my niece and I, she was really small then, as you can see. You know, so adorable. Me when I was a young thing. You can see I was really young in this picture. And actually, to me, it feels like I keep looking in the mirror and feel like I didn't age that much because I really don't look my age. I'm 31. But then when I look at these older pictures, that's when I can see, oh yeah, I can see the difference. Like I really had like a youthfulness to my face back then. Just some other pictures that I took back then. Picture of my sisters and I, my younger sister, myself in the middle, and my older sister. You can see, like, remember I told y'all in my story, I was like basically you could say my older sister's shadow. And I was really, really like attached to her. It was to the point where like I used to follow her around. I remember in high school they actually used to call me the tail. This picture is a good representation of what that relationship used to look like. Like I was really like my older sister's tail at a point. And it started from very young. This is my dad when he was younger and my oldest sister when she was a baby. This is a pic of my younger sister and myself. I'm the one with the Barney. My younger sister is over there. I believe she has Elmo in her hand, but you can't see it. Picture of me when I was fit. So when I tell y'all I was fit back in the day, know that I was fit. Like I'm skinny now, but I'm not fit. There's a difference. You know, you can be skinny, you know, not have meat on you, but still be out of shape. That's me right now. Back then I used to like work out like vigorously and eat healthy. More pictures of back then. Thought I was all that with my little shades on. I don't know what I was doing. I was actually cracking up when I saw the picture recently because I don't know what was going on. Again, me back then. Yeah. This was me at the Walmart. You know, you could see my skin was having a breakout. I was really going through it when I was working at that Walmart. But look at the Walmart badge so you can see, verify that everything I say in my story can be corroborated. You know, if you listen to my full story, I don't know if I talked about it in my summary, but I know I talked about it in my full story, where I was talking about that situation with the asset protection man, where I had my first encounter with a monitoring spirit. This was those times when I was working at the Walmart. And even in this picture, I'm doing the eyebrow thing. I don't know what it is, why I do it. But I believe that's why my face was breaking out. I was stressed out at this time. Also was dealing with the BS with my ex at this time. So a lot was happening at this time. This was 2014. You can see at the top of the picture, the date. Another picture from back then. VI flag, I told y'all I'm from the Virgin Islands. Trini flag, I told y'all I'm half Trini. My father and his side of the family is from Trinidad. Just some more pictures, guys. You can see I was doing the eyebrow thing. This is more prominent. So you can see this is the type of pictures that I used to post back then. And so this is literally why they made this stimuli for me when I became targeted. They literally made that stimuli for me. Not when I became targeted. I'm saying nonsense. I'm sorry, I got basity, guys. I was looking out the window. I know I sounded distracted when I said that. Not when I became targeted, when I was bullied. In my 20s, when I dealt with that cyber stalking, cyberbullying situation that I talked about in my full story, these were the type of pictures with my eyebrow that made them start to make the eyebrow being lifted stimuli for me. But not with my targeting. I mean, now they're using it in my targeting too, obviously, because I've talked about my story and stuff, and obviously they're familiar with the situation. So that's stimuli in this situation too. But that didn't derive from my targeting. That derived from my early 20s, that situation I dealt with. Just another picture. You know, this is back when I had Instagram. Remember I told y'all there was a time when I had Instagram and I was really trying to make myself look poppin' or whatever. So I was taking these type of pictures to get my ex's attention. These are the pictures I was talking about. You see what I was talking about? Where my Instagram was popping and I was trying to get my ex's attention. These were the pictures I was talking about. You can see I said headed to FSU track meet. I was really fit back then. And this is also the white tracksuit picture that I sent to the Kadan guy that I was talking about in my full story. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you got to watch my full story or listen to my full story. This was the friend that I made in the Walmart. So remember I told you there was a girl that I was friends with in the Walmart that basically told me some information about the asset protection guy that kind of confirmed my suspicions that he was following me around. This is the girl that I was talking about. So this is tangible evidence and pictures for y'all to see, you know, corroborate the things that I said in my story. Just a picture, random picture. You know, I was trying to be cute or whatever. This was pictures from when I was subbing. Remember I told you I was a teaching assistant / substitute teacher in Tallahassee. These are pictures from those days. Picture from when I was working at the Walmart, as you can see. I had a sweater on, but you can see the dark navy blue shirt underneath. This was still those days when I was working at the Walmart. Picture of my older sister and my niece. You can see that she's a real fat padump, so adorable. Look at her cheeks. She's like a chipmunk. And all of us are like that in this family. Like, we make some fat babies. Adorable babies. I don't know what was happening in this picture, guys, and I don't even know why I'm showing you it, because my hair was looking a hot mess. You know, like one of those older pictures you look at of yourself and you're like, why did you do that with your hair, girl? This was one of those times. Look at the part. This is clearly a sew-in that I had going on. I don't know what I was doing there with that. Hilarious. Some pictures of me in the bathroom. I don't know. I think I was trying to be cute or whatever. You know, going out. Like I told you, I was clubbing a lot back then. So now you guys have evidence, tangible evidence. And also for those of you that are visual people, when you're listening to my story, now you see pictures from that time in my life when I was in my early 20s and I was telling y'all about what was going on in my early 20s. These are from those times. These pictures are from those times in my life. Yeah, okay, the weave was looking better this time. It was looking much better in this picture. Yeah, I don't know why I look so grumpy, but yeah. Y'all can see how skinny I was. Remember I told y'all I was vegan at a point, right? After we had moved out from the roommate. Remember I told y'all the skinniest I had ever been in my life was in my early 20s when I was basically vegan. I wasn't vegan. I was eating meat, but I was eating like grass-fed meat and holistic stuff, you know, and just really healthy non-GMO type stuff, and drinking water, not drinking juice or soda, you know, all of that type of stuff like that. Cutting out all of the toxic stuff like alcohol. Even when we went out, I was trying not to drink. This was that time. So you can see how skinny I was. It was crazy. I've never been, even now, with what I got going on with the nano and stuff and me being skinny, I'm still not even as skinny as I was back then. I think that's about it, guys. I think that's all. Oh, this is what I wanted to, oh no, I showed y'all these lists already, I think, right? Yeah, I did. That was in my Asperger's Part 2 video. So that's all I wanted to show you guys. Just pictures from that time in my life in my early 20s. You know, when I was, you know, going through my, I guess you could say the start of my spiritual battle or whatever. These are pictures from those times. I just wanted to share a piece of that part of me with you guys. So I'll talk to y'all in the next one. Peace out.